Hi again. A few weeks ago, news came from Pompeii of a new intriguing find of a large dining hall with frescoes and a mosaic floor. In this episode, we shall look a little bit closer on the finds and on some of the details that has not been visible in the media reports. I am your host, Morten Eriksson. Welcome to Ancient History. For this episode, I'm going to assume that most viewers are familiar with the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE that buried several small towns in the area, including Herculaneum and not the least Pompeii, and that there are continuous excavations in these places, blessing us with a continuous flow of new findings. So let us dive right into it. The reports that came just a few weeks ago when I'm recording this came from the excavation of a residence probably belonging to a Roman politician named Aulus Rustius Verus in Via de Nola, located in Region 9 of Pompeii. What the archaeologists found was a Roman banquet room or hall with black walls. It measures some 15 meters in length and 6 meters in width. The room consists mainly of 3 such walls, and in one end a broad opening leading into a staircase and a yard, allowing as much light as possible in during the nights. The main portion of the walls are painted black, but there are also ordinary painted details like pillars, creatures, people and gods, and other things that we have seen from many other excavated rooms in Pompeii. Also, this is not the first black room ever found, but why is it black? We believe that the Romans painted the walls black to hide the soot coming from the oil lamps that were burning in the evening. The floor, on the other hand, is a mosaic, very sparse and abstract in its details. It is still impressive though, as it is made out of over 1 million white tesserae with only sparse details. The white surface with a simple black frame would have reflected the sparse light from the oil lamps in a very effectful way. One can almost imagine the moving of the light during dark nights, reflecting on the white floor, making the frescoes on the walls come to life in the flickering light. These rather strikingly small and isolated frescoes depict scenes from the myths relating to the Trojan War that probably took place sometime in the 12th century BCE. Some of these scenes have been shown in the news, but some have not. The most conspicuous is perhaps this one with 3 humans and a somewhat not happy-looking dog. The Greek text that can be seen in its center states Alexandros and Helena. Hence, the picture shows the first meeting of the Trojan prince Paris, who was also known under the name Alexandros, and Helena, the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta, from whom Paris would steal away Helena and thus give reason for the Trojan War. On the opposing wall there is another scene that fits well together with Paris and Helena. Here we can see Apollo and Cassandra. Cassandra was a priestess and the daughter of King Priamos of Troy. Apollo is trying to seduce her. In doing so, he gave her the ability to foresee the future. However, Cassandra still rejected the lovesick god. In his anger, he put a curse on her that no one would ever listen to her predictions. Nonetheless, Apollo would side with the Trojans in the war. That is why Brad Pitt or Achilles decapitates the Apollo statue in the movie Troy. Cassandra, on her part, would be raped during the sack of Troy and end up a slave concubine of Agamemnon. The scene points to the fatal meeting on the opposing wall. The artwork on the walls belonged to the so-called Third Style in Pompeii, dating it between 15 BCE and circa 50 CE. The style stands out with its shadows, will of expression and high degree of detail. It also stands out in its style and form. The excavation team tells us that they were probably trying something new here. Sadly, they never got to enjoy it. A third fresco that, as far as I can see, has not been widely shown in media is this smaller illustration of Leda and the swan. It is, however, also connected to the Troy theme. Leda or Leda was the wife of King Tyndareus of Sparta. One day Zeus happened to lay his eyes on her and fell into aching desire. To get to her, he transformed himself into a swan and managed to lay with Leda. Later, she would lay 2 eggs. Tyndareus was father to the first one, containing the twins Castor and Clytemnestra, which we shall not concern ourselves with here. Zeus, on the other hand, was the father of the twins in the other egg. From this one sprang Polydecus or Pollux and his sister Helena, thus making them half divine. Clytemnestra would in the end kill both Agamemnon and Cassandra. As it appears, the building were being restored when the eruption of Vesuvius buried it. Piled up building materials, such as roof tiles, work tools, bricks and lime, have been found beneath an ark, and the paintings on the walls appears to have been freshly restored shortly before the disaster. On the walls under the arcs beneath the staircase, the excavators have also stumbled upon 2 graffiti scenes in charcoal, less in detail but no less intriguing, and very much in the style of Pompeii. On the plaster, someone have sketched 2 pairs of gladiators. One scene has a Murmillo and a Thracian with curved sword. The other scene is much harder to make out, and there seem to be very few photos of this find at the time I am writing the episode, so unfortunately I have not been able to see what the text above them states. On this wall there is also a large phallus painted in red. The 8-like shape forms the 2 testicles and the penis. This is not just an obscene painting, but the sign was in Roman times considered a luck-giving totem. This concludes this episode. I hope you liked it. If so, hit that like button, share a link with your friends, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to help me make even better documentaries about the past in the future, please consider joining me at Patreon. I have put a link in the description below. See you next time.